Now, this next topic involves the protection of my copyright and a response to something that occurred last week during the premiere of the wrap-up. Now, as many of you know, I like to premiere this show every Monday night at 7 p.m. whenever I am able to do so. And what I like about doing the premiere is that I can connect with all of you and we can have a shared experience while we watch the video together and chat about the topics in the chat window. It's a great virtual live thing that I have really come to enjoy, and it's a great way just to connect to all of you. But last week it wasn't as fun because another channel sent in a horde of people to try to disrupt our chat because of a content ID claim I made against that channel earlier in the day. And I wanted to give you my side of the story because I think it's not going to be the last time that this happens. And it's important, I think, for independent creators to assert the ownership of their content just as much as it is for larger media conglomerates out there. And all too often, we are often the victims of false claims and everything else. But many times, claims are, in fact, valid. And this was one of those instances where I had to make a tough call. But I do need to protect the investment that I make in this content because it's important for this business to grow. And I can't just give everything away. And it's even worse when people take without asking. And that is what happened here. So let me give you an overview as to what occurred. So a couple of weeks ago, we reviewed the iPod Touch here on the channel. And I decided to review the iPod Touch after my review of the 9.7-inch iPad was so well received. It was actually a very good performing video for the channel. And I figured, hey, if that one did well, let's pick up the cheap iPhone alternative and see how that would do. So I went out and bought the iPod Touch. We unboxed it on the Extras channel, as you can see here. And then we did a full review on the main channel. And the folks that grabbed my content took the unboxing video and then ran their own voiceover over that unboxing. So they weren't critiquing my unboxing ability, which would have been perhaps a fair use if done properly. Instead, they were just talking about the product itself. They didn't have the product, nor did they buy the product, so they figured they would go out and find some footage that they can use to put under their discussion, and that is what transpired here. Now, before you say, oh, Lon, what's the big deal? It's just an unboxing video. You shot it with your cell phone. The reality is there is a cost involved with everything I do here on the channel, especially when we buy the products that we review, and we buy a lot of them on this channel. So let me just run through the math here real quick so you can get a feel for what a typical review might cost us if we don't get a loaner sent to us. So here we had to buy the iPod Touch for about $200. The unboxing video only earned $2.83 of YouTube revenue, so that certainly wasn't a moneymaker for me. And then the review itself only earned about $26 in revenue from YouTube. Now, when I was done with the unboxing and the review, we sold the item on my store for $119. I believe that is net of shipping costs to the buyer. We had nobody buy it at Amazon through the affiliate link, so we're pretty much running at a net loss here of $52.27. Now, this doesn't happen every time I buy something to review on the channel, but it does happen more often than not. However, my calculation in this cost is that over time, this video may do better, especially as we near the holiday season and parents start looking at these as potential gifts for their children. That's kind of the market for this, and I think that's when I might see an uptick in traffic. I just had a comment today on that video, actually, from a father who was thinking about buying one for his kid, and he appreciated the review because it didn't just trash it, it actually showed what it did. So I'm hopeful that we'll see a better return on this in the future. And this is often the case with a lot of what I do here on the channel. It takes time to make the money back on each individual review, but eventually it gets there. Now, our friends from Brazil that took the content had over 69,000 views on that video. And the CPM in Brazil right now, the cost per 1,000 views that go to the creator when the video is uploaded, is about $2.34 right now. So they earned an estimated $161.46. That number could be higher depending on where in the world their viewers are. If they were coming in from the US and watching the video in Portuguese, they will see US advertisements and likely would be seeing a higher CPM delivered back to these creators. So as I'm looking at this video to determine what to do with it, I'm like, whoa, they got 69,000 views of my content and earned a lot more than I did. None of us are getting rich off of this, but nonetheless, there's a principle here, which is they did nothing to basically make value here other than taking my content and doing a voiceover on it. And that is not a fair use of my work, and they're making money off of my work, and I have the ability to make a decision, which is I can issue a copyright strike, which would have been well within my rights to do so. On YouTube, if you make a DMCA takedown, it results in a copyright strike against the person who uploaded your content. I, however, have the ability also to instead do content ID claims. That is different than a strike because the video doesn't get taken down, it stays up. But in this instance, I would earn future revenue from that video versus the person who uploaded it. And I don't take whatever revenue they already earned, that $160 or whatever they made off of it is theirs to keep. But anything rolling after last Monday when that claim was issued is something that would go to me, but they would still benefit from having the video up. It's very different than a copyright strike, and there's no strike against the channel, no penalty, nothing. Now, I could have just issued a strike, which is what I usually do when people re-upload content, but typically when it's another creator, I give them the courtesy and say, you know what, I'm going to do a content ID strike, or content ID claim, I should say. I'll go in and maybe have a conversation with the creator and tell them why I did what I did, and if we could work out some kind of licensing arrangement or some kind of arrangement in the future where we can share content in a way that's amicable for both parties, I'm happy to have that discussion. But you can't just take stuff without asking, especially when you're earning money off of my work. I just find that very offensive and certainly not a professional thing to do among two professional creators, we would hope. Now, it's going to get very complicated soon because more creators now have access to these matching tools. YouTube has a tool that will find all of the re-uploads of your content, but they don't give creators the option to do a revenue take. It's only a takedown. So I think you're going to be hearing a lot more about this as more creators gain access to this tool and start issuing copyright strikes against each other versus the flexibility I have within the content ID system. But nonetheless, this is what goes on, and I think it's going to become certainly more pronounced as things progress here. Just to give you an idea as to how many takedowns I do per year, I took a look at my stats. In 2017, I issued 122 takedowns. In 2018, 196. And this is mostly, almost 99%, people re-uploading my content onto these spam accounts, and they're putting affiliate links on those videos and hoping to pick up search traffic. And by the way, that is my core business. 80% of my traffic comes from search and algorithmic recommendation. So if these videos are being uploaded with the same metadata but with their affiliate link, it could really harm my business. So that was why I was able to gain access to these tools. And I'm able now to do straight up takedowns of videos that are just essentially re-uploads for affiliate links. And those I just do the takedown, issue the strike, because there are many, many other creators I'm finding who are also having these videos included on these. Last year, I had to do 196 takedowns, so this problem's getting worse. This year, just halfway through the year essentially, I'm up to 122. But again, if it's a fellow creator who is doing something they shouldn't, I'm not going to do the takedown and the strike. I'm going to do the content ID and have a conversation. And that's often how I like to have these things end. So I appreciate everybody hearing me out on this topic. I don't think we'll be seeing the trolls again this week, but who knows? I just wanted you to hear my side of the story. I don't seek these things out, but when things like this occur, I have to defend my work. It's what is important for my business, and I will continue to do so in the future.
This channel is brought to you by the Lon.TV supporters, including gold-level supporters, the 4 Guys with Quarters podcast, emudev.org, Tom Albrecht, Brian Parker, and Kalyan Kumar. If you want to help the channel, you can by contributing as little as $1 a month. Head over to Lon.TV/support to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe. Visit Lon.TV/s.